So, welcome back everyone. It's supposed to be the last series of my Quarkus and PostgreSQL demo backend project, since I have split into 5 sessions. The first is the setting up project. The second is the creating up, doing a basic operations for a backend project: create, read, update, and delete. Also a patch or update. And then the third part is where I was doing the entity mapping, one to many, many to one, and many to many relationships between the entities. And the fourth one, it's going to be the resource-based or role-based access control, which I did integrate with Keycloak and Quarkus. And the last one, this video is going to be the part 5, or the last part. It's going to be a Dockerize or container, because when we would like to deploy our application into the server, we should pack or containerize our application, and Docker is one of the best choice, I guess. But it's not going to be successful because a few other things that I will explain later on the video. And also I would like to revise some of the idea or some of the problem when I was doing the resource-based access control on part 4. So the first one, I would like to talk about the Dockerize or containerize my application. So the first one, you see here on the screen, it's Docker compose file, which contains all the steps and commands on how we build the image for our application, since my application depends on the Postgres, Keycloak, and the backend. So it's this Docker compose file. It's actually provided by my friends. The first Docker compose file that I created was not as good as his, like you see here on the screen, because I didn't know that we're supposed to split our database for backend and also for the Keycloak. So I just have one one Postgres image, not two. But here you see this is a Postgres. Okay, this is the Postgres, and also this one is a Postgres Keycloak. That's the dependencies for the Keycloak image. If you see here, it depends on Postgres Keycloak itself. Okay, so my friends suggested me to use a different Postgres database for backend and for the Keycloak as well, because the Keycloak also depends on Postgres. Okay, and he even gave me this healthy flag, so it will check every image, not just only to run, but also to be a healthy first before the other container or the other image is run. So it's basically from one image to another, it has to be ready and healthy before the next container and or the next image to be run. So that's basically what it says here. And then I will show you my it's Postman. I think I will show you my this is my application properties. So yeah, it is like almost the same one, like we did on the fourth part for the Keycloak or the security of our APIs, so something like that. And this is the env, the .env environment, because we are using the Docker container. We're not longer using this as a local host, because on the Docker files you see here, the container name is Quarkus Backend. Here is the key cloak, and this is Postgres key cloak. So here on our setting, we just have to change our .environment, because when we containerize our application, the Docker will access it from inside the Docker, and the name represents the name of the container itself. So we have to use Postgres key cloak here on the bottom, also here. So yeah, it's basically we adjusted our environment to the Docker environment, so something like that. Okay, so I will show you here. If you see here, actually, wait, yeah. So if you see here on the screen, I think I already composed the Docker file. It's ready for you can access it. If you see here, we can also do something like this, and if you see here, we can check if the containers are running. So docker ps, you see everything's running here. Postgres key cloak, and Quarkus Backend, everything's running here. Great. Okay, and it's healthy because on the Docker YAML files, it's been flagged, or it's been assigned to be a healthy first, and then run the next container. Okay, but the problem comes when I try to access this endpoint that we already created to access all the lists of for actor and films. Okay, so the first we need to ask for the token first, for the like login into the key cloak, and then you get this access token. Okay, before we get into the API, I would like to show you first that the token is valid here on the JSON web GWT.io. We copy here. Okay, that's valid. So the issuer, this is going to be also the problem later. I will explain why. So this issuer is here. Everything's perfect here, cool. And according to our settings, it doesn't matter what the role is, as long as we have a default role here, default roles online, default roles my project, and we can actually see all the lists. We can fetch all the lists of actors or films. Okay, that's on here. You can see here. I will show you. If you go to the clients, DVD app, authorization, we set our resources, policies, and permission. So get public resources. So yeah, so that's the resource. Now we go to policies, get public policies. So we only need this role. Yeah, it's supposed to be working. And also if we go to the permissions, it's also using the resource and policies that we already created. Okay, we get the token, and then we like to visit our endpoint here on our application. Okay, so let me paste the code, the token first, and yeah, you see it's giving us the 401 unauthorized. This is the part where I stuck the most. It took me maybe more than a week. That's why this video comes way back later on. My plan is just to spend 3-4 days to learn about the key cloak, and then integrate it and Dockerize. So, and then I'll move to the next project. But it took me more than 10 days. Even I asked my friend to help, but it's not working. I don't know why. Okay, and read on the internet, Stack Overflow, Keycloak documentation, something like that, it's most likely because the issuer here, it's different. It's like mismatch between this issuer and what I have here on my settings here on the here this on my environment setting. Okay, it should be also a keycloak and AT-AT. Okay, this is supposed to be, this is how it's supposed to be on the issuer here. Okay, maybe so I tried everything. I tried to first I change this one into localhost. Okay, when I change this one into localhost, the problem is Docker cannot access it within the container itself, because like I said, we have to use the container names here. Okay, so it didn't work. So the next one, I try to use AT-AT1. It won't also work because on our Docker compose file here, we are defining the PostgreSQL, the Postgres run on the keycloak run on the container AT-AT. So this is the host, and then this is the container part. Okay, so if we are accessing from our container, it's going to be AT-AT1. If you see it on my keycloak administration, is localhost AT-AT1, and AT is accessed from the container, from the Docker container itself. Okay, so if I change to AT-AT1, it won't work because it's going to be mismatched with here. When I change here AT-AT1, the port won't be accessible because both are using the same port. So it's kinda I know I went back and forth just to trying to figure out what's happening. And then also, if you see here again, it's keycloak AT-AT, and here on JSON is a localhost. Okay, and then I read about the keycloak host name, something like that, and I tried to use the host name also on my Docker compose file here. So I tried to add here like if you see kcdb host name, something like this, and I put it here keycloak, so it will match. So the host name means that the keycloak hosting with the keycloak name according to settings here. So the issuer will be also here keycloak AT-AT1. But the problem when I do that, okay, I cannot access here on my browser because I don't have any keycloak server or domain. I think it works when I already deploy my apps into a real server. So I have my domain, my own domain, and I put there on the host name. So this is just my thought. Okay, so that's probably the problem. Okay, when I change here to keycloak, I couldn't access it here on my browser. So that's also the problem. Up to this point, I have no idea what to do. Really, I get stuck here. So I really hope that if someone watches this and have the same problem and find the solution, please tell me how to do it. I can actually post in Stack Overflow, but I had a really miserable experience on Stack Overflow, so I try to avoid it as much as possible. So yeah, so if anyone watches it and you know how to solve this one, because I'm just stuck here for maybe 10 days or something, I will also put my link on my GitHub. After this, I will push all the changes on my local to my GitHub, so you can see what's going on there. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it's been tough, so I just can't really move from here and go to my next project. I don't know. So yeah, so that's the problem. It's my guess it will be a mismatch. URL from the east you are here, because here I have localhost, and on the settings here they have this a key cloak. So I really don't know how to solve it. You change this to localhost, Docker cannot access it. You change it to 8081, Docker cannot access it. You change the Docker and use the hostname keycloak, I cannot access it on my browser. Yeah, so it's just going back and forth for me. So I hope someone has the solution. I also want to know how it's going to be. Yeah, when I run it on my machine, it's just localhost, it works. I containerize one. I do a split container, my backend, my Postgres, my keycloak. It works just fine. Yeah, but it's not I know it's not working when I try to do this. So yeah, okay. For the next one, I think I will go. I will revise my we'll call it my confusion when I was doing the resource-based access control on the part 4, where I really confused why I cannot why I can still access the database even though I'm not logging in, but the resources are protected. And I also confused about the logic. Sometimes I cannot access the endpoints even though I have logged in as user, even as administrator, but I cannot really access the endpoints. It's because this part okay, so this is really important. This annotation authenticated, it's really crucial when you are already activating the security enforcement on the keycloak. So when you are not using this authenticated annotation, your like Postman or Swagger, they don't receive, or they cannot receive the token itself. So it will block you. Even though you are already logged in with the proper username, proper password, and also proper role. It won't be accessible for you because you're not activating this authenticated, and that means that on the API they don't take, or they cannot receive any authentication header or something like that. So make sure if you're doing that, please put this annotation. Don't forget to do it. And then also, I think on Spring Boot you call it security name or something like that. I'm not really familiar with Spring Boot, but it's something that the Spring Boot uses also instead of authenticated. Yeah, you just make sure you put this annotation, so you can access your endpoint. Yeah, so yeah, there's not much to do. Yeah, I just hoping that someone has a solution, and I can learn from you guys. Okay, So yeah, that's all for now. I think I just move on to next my project, and maybe I can make also a video for my next project. And as I move along, maybe I will find a solution. Maybe my friend told me how to do it, something, I don't know. But up to this point, the last video, so it just demo, it's not working up to the Dockerize or containerize the application. So thank you everyone.